Infiltration scripting progress, second update. I have worked on this for many days now. I'm currently at this point. It will, new game here, will deal out all the cards. It shuffles the decks, deals them out. It knows what these 13 cards are. It also moves these bags here, so these bags are each associated with this location on the board, so it knows what card is here and it knows what bag is associated with this card. So when we reveal a card, it's got 2 data file tokens. It's going to put 2 tokens from this bag into this bag. It'll also, because it's got a reveal text, it'll move the NPC to the room and it'll put tokens here. As you can see, the remove button will remove this tech lock and it will add 3 tokens to the bag that has 2 tokens. Now it's 5 tokens. This doesn't work yet. This one here, same thing, puts 2 tokens there. If we remove this, it'll add 6 to the bag, and it will also grab the sludge card, a token. I made a token and put it here. Another sludge. It's not perfect. If there was pawns here, that would not work at all. There's no reset button because the decks get deleted, so there's no way to auto reset it. Okay. The other thing it does is when you grab your player card, if you drag it into your player region, ignore that. There's an error there. It now knows what player I'm playing as. It knows where my storage bag is for my personal tokens, and knows what my dude is here. It originally would also, it's supposed to move your pawn to the first room, but I realized that some rooms have entry text, and if by moving it here automatically, it didn't actually check the entry text. So it puts it here for now. And then up here in the middle of the board, we have buttons for advancing, retreating, interfacing, and downloading. The interface button is the only one that doesn't work right now. So if you can see, if we hit advance, it knows right now this is not on the board. It's on location technically -1. It can't be 0. If it's when you leave, it gets set to 0, and it knows you've escaped and won't let you go back in. So if it's set to 0 and you try to advance, it goes, oh, you're already out, you can't go in. So it's -1 right now, so we advance. It advances and it flips the card. The only thing it doesn't do is do the reveal button. I don't know if it's actually possible to do that. If I can integrate that together, it must be possible, but I don't know if it is. Anyway, so you move there and you'd reveal it, and then things would happen. This one's kind of funny. You break this tech lock, it adds 3 data tokens to the bag here, but you also retreat 2 rooms if possible. And I don't know if that means that it would make you leave, or it's retreat 2 rooms and then stop if you hit the first room. At the moment, it would actually make you leave. I'm not going to do that. I want to demonstrate that you can still advance. Every time you advance, it takes the center of this card, this blue border here, and tells your standee to be somewhere in this region with a very small random chance of like where it will be specifically. The lab workers, none of those have special text, so removing those just removes it, adds tokens as necessary. Every card should flip. Conveyor belt has enter text that says if you enter it using your advanced card, it immediately moves you forward. It should only advance you if you play your advanced card, and there's item cards here that do advance, which it theoretically should not activate. So currently it just activates into the room. You could go backwards from the room. It'll move you forwards again. So technically this is extremely broken. Otherwise everything works appropriately. You can advance, you can retreat, other than you can't get past the conveyor belt room. You can't, nothing else is automated, like, oh, that one, every time you enter the room, it adds a token to the bag. So, I mean, that's consistent. And then things like this, the alarm tracker increases by 2, so that's the red button up here, so something else must have increased it by 1. Although nothing increases it by 1, so now I'm very confused. Oh no, this increases by 1. Tech lock. So that should have increased it by 2 as well, so it should actually be at 5, not 3. So one of these is broken. One of these probably doesn't have the code in it that says it, so like let's just double check neural interface and assembly line. Enter text is alarm. I think this one, assembly line, should also be alarm. So now that one will work fine. If we save it and refresh it, it'll reset everything. The other thing you can do is when you're in a room that has data files, you can click download, and it knows that if you're it knows who is in this room to download. So it knows this round until it gets reset that this room has already been downloaded in. So if someone else was to move in here, like you can see, I got 2 tokens. So if player green over here was the pilot and they moved in here and they download, they get 1. Because downloading, whoever does it first gets 2, whoever does it after that gets 1. There's a collision issue here where if 2 players occupy the same space, they are likely to collide and have issues. But it doesn't affect moving, it doesn't affect you knowing what room you're in. And I think that's basically it. There's currently no way to get into the secret room because you enter it by being in 2 specific rooms. So like this one here, interface, you enter this room here. So eventually this interface button here, which currently does nothing, will know that that means move to room number 13, which is this one here. And then interfacing, or advancing and retreating from here will have to say, oh, if you advance, find the holo conference room. If you retreat, find the research admin office, which it knows if they're there, and it would be able to check and see if they are face up or face down. I mean, technically, it could move you there and then reveal it if it hasn't been revealed because it's a video game. But that would be kind of broken for you to go to here and then move into here and then go, oh, I advanced to one of these rooms that hasn't been revealed. Oh, and it's, you know, this one. It'd be funny if it was that one. But also it might not be any of them. Yeah, it's currently not any of them. But yeah, the interface button doesn't work. Basically everything else works. What I would like to have is when you have your cards in your hand, like how it works now would be, oh, I play my card secretly, I reveal it's in advance, so I click the advance button. What I would like is for this card to have an advance button on it, which means that it would know that it came from an advance button, and then if you played a card, it'd be helpful if that was one that did it. So if you play Espresso 2, you advance or retreat 1 room. So for that, you would have to use these buttons, and the game would know that you're using these buttons and not a card, so things like the conveyor belt, which is not in that one, the conveyor belt would not activate. So the thing is, the last thing is that you retreat, and when you retreat again, you come back out here. I don't know what this error is about, but if you try to advance, it knows you can't. It says you're already out, job's done, you can't go back in. And it's customized to whatever, it knows what player you are. I mean, make this table bigger, move these player hands back a little bit. So like the pilot here, she can also leave, she advances, she goes back to here, so if you go, oh, I advance, her name is Marilyn, as you can see here, Marilyn, and this is Monica Singh. So it actually tells you, it knows who you are, and addresses you by name. Time that broadcasts to everyone. I can also broadcast specifically to a player. So if I'm this, I come over here, it's 5 tokens. So you can see here, the alarm increased by 1. So it prints out, I don't know what that is printing. That's the room code, I think. Any reveal actions get printed automatically, so you can see that's 1 now. But also if you download, it broadcasts specifically to you, and ideally I would like the color to be the player's color, but right now it's just blue. So it takes whatever tokens you're allowed to have, waits basically 1 second to make sure all the tokens are in the bag, and then it looks in your bag and adds up any tokens that are in there. So you can see if we go with search, I got 2 2s, which means I have 4. And if I was to download again, because it's not, there's nothing saying I can't, I get 1 more because the room has already been downloaded in, doesn't matter if it's me or not, and I got a 3. So what I need to work on now is I need to button the ends of the round, which would also move the NPCs. So currently, if an NPC is out here, I don't think any of these are NPCs. Oh yeah, there we go. So James Harris here, he's going to move down here, and each time he encounters a player, he'll injure them and then move. So I have the ability, you can see how alerts come up and it tells you on screen there, alarm increased by 2. These two people here need to leave, and all the code exists for them to move. All the code exists for James Harris to injure an operative. The code even exists for Leah Bailey to escape based on the room she's in, because she can escape either at the loading dock, the first room, or the executive elevator, which is not present. So the code exists for her to check and see what room she's in. If she's in one of the 3 rooms she can escape from, she escapes. And then the proximity will increase. So we can actually... No, we can't test that. I had a button before that would move... I have test buttons over here that would move an NPC, but they don't currently work. And the last thing is the end of the round. You roll this die and it will increase... You'll take the value of the die plus the value of the alarm and increase the proximity by that amount. So you can either roll the die, and it goes 3 plus 2 is 5, that makes it 15, or you can roll it, and it does the same thing. So 2 plus 2 is 4, plus 15, 19. The one thing you can't do is mash R to randomize it more, because every time you roll it and it finishes, like when you hit R to roll it, it knows what value it's going to land on before it finishes rolling. So if I hit it twice, it'll change twice. Because as soon as you press roll, as soon as it starts rolling, it has decided what... I don't know when it decides it, but it decides what the final value is going to be, and it will do the math based on that. I could make it so that it waits until it's stopped rolling, which is this weird process where I check the velocity of the die and compare it to the velocity of the table. And the table has no velocity, it's not moving, so when the die's velocity matches the table, it goes, okay, the die stopped moving, check the value. But realistically, I think that's the... I don't know what happens if you roll it. Okay, good to know. Rolling the die does not count as randomizing. Well, I guess the safest way to do it is to roll a die. Additionally, if you roll it enough times and it gets to 99, it will actually change the message here. So you see it, police have been called, now it says the police are almost here because they're getting higher. Oh, come on. But if it hits 99, if it exceeds 99, it will reduce it to 99, so this will never go above, this will never hit 100. And then it displays this message here, game over, if you made it out, count your data files, because if you didn't make it out, you get nothing. So, I mean, the objective of the game is to get in, get data files, get back out, so you actually have points. So Monica here collected, whatever it was, 7 points. She has no points because she's still in the building. What I would like to do is when the game does end, it'll trigger something that ends the game. Anyone who is out, and I'm not sure how to track that yet. I guess I can make an array of escaped operatives. It'll go through anyone who's escaped, and it'll check their bag because it knows what bag is yours. It'll add it up, and it'll like maybe display a chart down here, not a chart, a list of everyone's scores. And in theory, I could print that in order. I think I can sort it. So that is what I'm working on. The other thing is sludge. Sludge delays you, so when you enter a room with sludge, you get delayed, which means you can't advance or retreat a second time in a row. What I believe I'm going to do with that is when you enter the room, perhaps it will hide your, it'll set your advance and retreat cards to be invisible to you, well, to everyone. And then when the round ends, part of the function of the round will say anything that's invisible, make it not invisible. The boardroom does the same similar thing. When you break the tech log, it adds files to the bag, but then no one's allowed to access cards in the boardroom until the end of the round. can see there's one in there. It'll add 5, but it says here when it's broken you can't collect tokens. So what it does is, as long as I'm a player, when I remove this, it makes the bag invisible. So I can't collect tokens. And then in theory at the end of the round it would make that bag visible again. So it actually says if this is the action, there you can see here hidden bag equals the bag that gets hidden. Only one bag ever gets hidden, so it knows which bag it is. So at the end of the round it can say, oh, if hidden bag is something, whatever that is, make it visible again. Right now it's totally playable. Any action cards you have to resolve on your own. The conveyor belt is broken. I gotta fix that somehow. I guess I could temporarily remove it. Interface actions you gotta resolve on your own. But other than that, it pretty much is functional. I also kind of want to replace the bags with these tokens, which is what the tokens look like. You can see the tokens that are in here look like this. This is not what they look like. They're not this weird hexagon shape. They're this shape. And I can make them this shape, but I don't have a skin that wraps a token this shape. I have, as you can see, this is only one-sided. I would love if the tokens would go in here, and this is a bag, because you can see I can put this in there. Now it's in there. And then this would sit, well, it wouldn't snap, but it would sit over here, let's say. I mean, realistically, it makes sense to make them this shape. And if I could put a label on it that would display how many... Where did that... Oh, the bag is still there despite the fact that it's invisible. That's funny. So that's kind of a problem if you accidentally put something in there. But yeah, that's it. So when you're injured, this will actually... It'll know to flip your card over so you can see that you're... That also delays you. So I really got to work out the delay function. I might also make a delayed card that just sits somewhere on the board and gets dealt into your hand when you're delayed as a reminder to say, hey, you don't have an advance or retreat card right now because you aren't allowed to have one because you're delayed. And that's a look at where I'm at with my infiltration automation scripting. So thanks for watching, and hope to be further along before too much time passes. Thanks.